But that kind of leads us straight into the news for the week. And starting off, we've got Microsoft's worst week, Xbox goes down, and Halo returns. Xbox suffers major network outages. Xbox has suffered one of the biggest network outages in recent years, lasting around 15 to 16 hours before services were fully restored. Players reported being unable to sign into Xbox accounts, access their game libraries, launch digital games, make purchases through the Microsoft Store, and access some physical discs that required entitlement checks. This wasn't just an Xbox Live outage, it prevented many players from accessing games they already owned. Sounds very similar to last week's episode.
I was going to say, what, now Xbox wants to hop on the PlayStation wagon? What the fuck?
Yeah. The listeners, don't look at the episode. You're on the right episode. This is the new episode. You're not on last week's episid.
This is not us rehashing last week, I promise.
Yeah. Same shit, different company.
I love some of the shit that rolled out of Xbox's mouth over this, though. Like they started bashing on Sony and saying that they're gonna fix the access with physical games. That's their first priority. And
as you should. I mean, to be fair, Sony did not have issues with physical games. Their only issue was with digital.
They had some issues with licensing problems.
Well, I don't remember reading anything about physical games, but I do know the big issue was nobody could access digital games.
Yeah,
like you couldn't even access anything digital, which was a big slap in the face. Because from what I could read, as long as it wasn't a multiplayer game that required like PSN, you could play single player physical games. Like if you wanted to just boot up Halo Legacy, then that was an option for you. Unlike Xbox, which it has also affected physical games, which is what raised my eyebrows, because it was like, what the hell, physical games? Like, how does that happen? But
I think that this was an issue that they missed. Like, I don't think that they realized that this was going to cause a problem if they had an outage. So I think that's why they're hopping on it so hard.
Yeah, well, I think PlayStation was a network issue, whereas, and we'll get into a little bit more of the story, but Xbox was a licensing issue. So.
Well, what caused the outage? Unlike Sony's recent outage, Microsoft gave players a detailed explanation. Xbox CTO Scott Van Vliet.
Yeah, I think he's
Scott
French.
Van Vliet.
Oui.
Said the outage was caused by a licensed service that Xbox depends on beginning to fail. That feature prevented consoles from verifying game ownership, quote unquote entitlements, which caused sign-in failures, missing game libraries, and games refusing to launch. Following the outage, Scott Van Vliet posted, "This is an unacceptable situation, and we must do better to support you." He also added, quote, "I care less about the one-line root cause and more about the real questions. Why a failure in one service was able to take down this much, and what we do or what we change so a single point of failure can't ruin the night again." I appreciate them coming out in a good space.
I appreciate that the main thing is they came out and they said, "Yo, we fucked up, and
this is how we fucked up.
This is how we fucked up. This is how we're going to change it," which is something Sony couldn't even give their audience like the same time of day.
Oh, straight up refused to give.
Oh yeah. They just said, "Oh yeah, shit fucked up. We're fixing it. Well, we're fixing it," and it's like,
trust me, bro.
Okay, so not only have you completely fucked up, your not only have you fucked up the way your audience perceives you, but you also couldn't even give them the decency to tell them how you fucked up. It's almost like like when companies do this, it's almost like they're blaming their audience type shit. And I hate that because it's like, how hard is it to to come out and say, yo, we fucked up, especially since you're now taking away consumer rights, right? At the same time as all this is going down, you're taking away your consumer rights and you're not even giving them any examples as to how you fucked up, right? You're not telling us how you fucked up. You're not telling us how you fixed it. You're just out there pretty much saying like, yo, what's done is done, right? Get the fuck over it.
Mhm.
That's the energy that I get from Sony. So it was really cool for the Xbox CTO to come out and say, "Yo, we fucked up, and this is what happened, and this is how we're gonna fix it." Like we were saying, it was a licensing issue, which is one of my biggest gripes. This is one of the examples that I brought up when this whole Sony not bringing back physical games thing was going on. I bring up Alan Wake, which was taken off of game platforms due to some licensing issues. And
Mhm.
it's like, how am I supposed to trust digital media if one day I can wake up and my Xbox is rendered completely useless due to some backroom disputes between companies that I essentially have. I'm not. I don't want to buy licenses. I want to buy the whole fucking thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
this whole licensing thing is your issue. This is an issue that you brought into the market, not me. So the fact that you are now disrupting, I got one day. It's my only fucking day off. I want to sit down and play some video games, and now I can't even play my physical games. I can't even play my physical games due to some greedy corporation and their fucking bullshit licensing.
Yep.
That's what's fucked up.
I agree. It is pretty fucked up, but I also think that this is just an issue that we're coming to realize. This is an issue that's coming to fruition, right? Before PlayStation said no, there was really no backlash on the physical game market. There was, because physical games were still an option, especially they were still
Yeah.
endorsed, so there was competitiveness in the market. But now that PlayStation's getting rid of physical media. Xbox is kind of not done physical media like it should, and Nintendo's still kind of chugging along doing its thing. Now that we're looking at a much larger digital games market, we
Mm.
as the consumer are starting to see the problems with such a broad market and
And
the lack of
it's a big
ownership
problem.
that's already in the market, let
I
alone the
wouldn't even
fact that
say,
you're
like,
now pushing for more.
and it wouldn't be such a big deal if the lack of ownership also didn't mean the ability to control more from these corporations, right? If a whole licensing company can shut down Xbox for 16 hours, that's not only a problem for consumers, but that's a problem Xbox needs to like look at, which I'm sure they are now. But that's like the Sony shut outage, like that was only a few hours. This was almost an entire fucking day before Xbox was fully back up and running.
Yeah, if
This
somebody
isn't
if
this
this was
isn't just
somebody's
a
day off, they wouldn't have been able to play it all.
no. This isn't just a consumer issue. This this is a market issue. The fact that these licenses can completely not only shut down just games or a service, but an entire company, an entire gaming sector. That's a big chunk of the gaming market as a whole.
It's
You
a big
know,
issue, I'll give you that.
yeah, it's something that these like. You want to talk about Sony and Xbox having the power. Well, if a license company can bring Xbox down to its knees, like that tells you something, like where the power is actually shifting. And
Hmm.
it doesn't look good, and the only way that Xbox and Sony are going to be able to capitulate to these greedy corporations, these stupid licensing issues or whatever, fucking bullshit backdoor stuff comes up that we have no idea happens behind closed doors, guess who's going to have to pay for whatever repercussions that happens, whether it's monetarily or with our time. 15 to 16 hours is a long time to go without wanting to play a video game that you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be asking yourself, this sounds a little familiar. You'd be a little right. Just 1 week after PlayStation Network went down, Xbox experienced almost the same exact problem. Both outages prevented players from accessing digital games, it sparked concerns over digital ownership, and it showed how modern games still rely on online license verification. The big difference: Sony confirmed the outage, restored services, and offered very little explanation about what went wrong. But Microsoft publicly apologized, explained the technical cause, and promised a full review and infrastructure improvements. Both companies suffered similar outages, but Microsoft's response was far more transparent. And I agree, Microsoft handled it right.
Yeah, I don't think Sony had anything to say. I don't think they really care. And it's not like anybody would listen to them anyways, you know?
Yeah, I think Sony's been under a lot of fire lately, and rightfully so. And I think Sony kind of just decided to do the Steam, take a page out of Steam's book and just not say anything. I've said this before. When Steam does something right, they like to shout it from the rooftops. But when Steam does something wrong, they're tight-lipped. They don't say shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You almost can't you try to call them and it goes straight to voicemail. That it takes a lot of courage for a company to come up in front of millions upon millions of people and say, "Hey, we fucked up." You're going to be on news and podcasts, and people are going to talk about you on YouTube videos, and so I feel like it's important for these companies to come up, and the more they're transparent about what goes on and everything, the better it looks for them in the beginning. But that takes a lot of courage, and unfortunately, as money doesn't buy courage, as we've found out. No. yeah, yeah,
No, by
yeah.
spinelessness.
So,
We sit
but
in the
that's how
shadows.
Xbox. You did the right thing, and I hope you can continue to do the right thing.
It definitely spoke. It definitely spoke for Xbox's character a little bit because it wasn't looking too good for Xbox there for a hot minute. I mean, it's still not. So this is kind of like one of those situations where like in anime when you got the female protagonist and she's like disciplining the one protagonist, and then the the other
Yeah, right.
protagonist says something
Yeah,
smart
yeah,
and
yeah.
slick,
Fucking
and then she
getting
goes,
red.
and
She just looks
then her
back
eyes
at
will
him.
narrow.
But
And
I
Microsoft is
I
like,
applaud them. I think the next generation of gaming isn't going to come down to the games themselves. You already see it with Sony and Xbox. We're able to play a lot of the same games. A lot of PlayStation players were able to play Halo for the first time. But I think it's going to come down to the ownership of your games. How these companies deal with digital ownership. You see it a lot with Xbox. They're talking a lot about their future games for backwards
yeah,
compatibility, about how you can turn your physical games into digital games. And there's even reports coming out that the new Xbox console might even come with a physical disk drive, which is something that Sony said they are completely doing away with. So I think the next console wars are going to come down to how much ownership
how
I
you
have.
treat digital ownership. Yeah.
Yeah, how much ownership I have over my games, honestly.
I think digital ownership is going to start becoming a much larger conversation now.
Oh, it has.
Um,
Honestly, the past 3 weeks, that's all we've talked about is digital ownership.
well,
This whole episode, what we're talking about, is pretty much about digital ownership.
I understand, but what I mean is like, how do I go about maintaining my rights as a consumer, right? Like, we're not going to be able to buy digital game or physical games anymore for certain platforms, or already so. Like, I haven't bought a I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't bought a physical game in freaking years,
Yeah, we talked about it.
and I don't plan to. But
I would
it's
love to. In fact, I bought a PlayStation 5 with a disc drive. Like if I was home, if I wasn't stuck on this road like a slave, then I would absolutely be buying physical games. I would love to show my child like this is a fucking video game, bro. We don't, it's not as simple as just logging on and changing your shit. You got to get your ass up. You got to put in the disc.
agreeable. But the other thing is like my computer doesn't even have a disk drive. I've never. Uh, I don't plan on buying physical copies. Digital's fine with me.
Yeah.
I'm fine with digital. But I've also never thought until recently about the ownership issue that I already have.
Mm.
Right? I have all these games. I've spent money on all these games on Steam. I own none of them.
You don't own Jack. No.
I don't own any of it. I own 7 Days to Die. That's it. And that's because I bought that off of a different site.
Mm.
And it really makes me look at like GOG,
GOG,
and
for sure.
I would absolutely
Yes.
like to start buying
You
more
should.
games from GOG.
You should. And
because it gives me license.
GOG not sponsored unless they want to, because I fully support this service. I love GOG. GOG is an excellent service. They give you games on sale, not as steep as Steam, but they still have great sales on games, and they give you the actual product key. They give you the actual
You own it.
yeah, the physical, well, not the physical, but the digital item is not a license, but it's a downloadable program like you used to get back in the fucking day, right?
Hmm.
And I love GOG for that. They're an incredible service. I encourage anyone, if you're on a PC and you're like Sternsy and you don't have a disk drive, that doesn't mean you have to go out and modify your PC to get one. Just go to good old games. They are a fantastic service. Um, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and
I've absolutely thought about tossing my hat in that ring.
you should, especially for like
And I didn't think about it until now.
especially for like the more expensive games, like especially games that are like now $80 and stuff, you should be thinking about maybe not buying these $100 games on a license. Maybe I should be getting these games hard coded onto my system that I can put onto an SD drive, which is something somebody was is doing. I wanted to put it in the story for this week, but we didn't have anywhere to fit it. But there's a YouTuber who he's not a YouTuber, he's just some guy that was taking his games and putting them on an SD drive and then putting the SD drive in like a cartridge, right? And there was like a cartridge reader that he was just slamming the like old school, right? It was
Yeah.
and so there's still licenses and Gabe can take his games away from him at any time. But it was a very cool way of looking at it and saying, wow, this is one way where you can turn a digital game into a physical game. And you can absolutely do the same thing that he was doing, but with GOG. And you wouldn't have to worry about somebody pulling your license away from you at any moment. You just wake up and your whole game library is just gone. Which is what some people did with their movie libraries, with Sony a few weeks back.
Yeah, the
So,
551 movies that they got rid of.
yeah, it's definitely something that is going to be more prevalent, and people are going to be looking at these companies come the next generation. 1000%.
No, I really think it's because they didn't. They had the what's it called, the Stop Killing Games movement that fell through over in the EU, and this all happened directly after they said no. I think we're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I said this a few
And
weeks back when we covered that story. I think these companies were waiting for it to happen.
well, hold on. We got other stuff to talk about. We're gonna absolutely touch back on that in a second. So some good news for Microsoft though. Halo campaign evolved has arrived.
Oh, and PlayStation.
Oh, and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Studios has officially released Halo Campaign Evolved, a full remake of the original Halo Combat Evolved. Rather than simply increasing the resolution, the game features completely rebuilt environments, modern lighting, updated character models, new audio, modernized gameplay systems, new cinematics. This is much more ambitious than Halo Anniversary. It's a ground up remake.
Mm, mm,
And I've
mm.
seen some stuff. I've seen some stuff from the from Combat Evolved,
I have
and
two.
it it looks better.
Eh. I mean,
It does.
in some areas, yes, and in some areas, no. I will say this just showed me how much the original Halos have held up. I will say.
Valid. Yes. Kind of like it hit me kind of like a little less, but kind of like Diablo 2 when
Okay.
they re-released Diablo 2
Yeah. Okay.
and you could hit the button to go back
Mm-hmm.
and see what it looked like. Like I understand, resolution was a little weird back then, but
But
holy shit.
for being a 20-year-old game, it's not that bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. I was like, oh, okay. And
I,
then you really start to see just how much your brain filled in.
yeah. And the same thing. Well, not I wouldn't say the same thing with Halo because like a lot of the reviews that I watched on this game, and a lot of people that had played this game had actually gone back and played the original Halo games,
Mm-hmm.
and that game still looks pretty fucking good. You
Yeah,
know.
no, it's really not. It really visually didn't look
I
all
mean,
too bad.
even okay, so like the 2001 Halo, you know one, but even if you go back to like the 2015 Halo, it's still like, god damn, this looks like a good fucking game, you know?
I mean, it was pretty gorgeous back in the day too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Halo is just one of those fucking games that's just the theme song. You still like
Oh, dude.
like that shit just
Bro,
gives
still
me.
my biggest hype song ever
Oh,
is Breaking Benjamin, Blow Me Away.
oh yeah, for sure, dude.
Fucking to this day
Blow
you put
me
that shit on, it's go mode.
away. I will stay. Yeah, but I get fucking chills, right? Like that whole fucking the whole soundtrack to Halo is just I don't even
Man,
want to say it's
amazing.
nostalgia. It is gaming.
It's great.
That was the first game that was like, oh shit, like music can actually be a piece of gaming, right? Like there is nothing that compares to the Halo soundtrack. There's nothing in gaming. Like that is gaming. When you think of
I would
gaming,
say it's up there with like Final Fantasy VII, like One
I
Wing
would say
Angel and all that. Yeah.
I love the Final Fantasy soundtrack, but if someone was to tell me what is the sound of gaming, I would say you know. That's fucking gaming, bro. Ugh.
I
That's
mean, then again, we did spend a lot of time at Aaron and Paul's as kids playing fucking Halo.
yeah, dude. I mean, that was gaming. That was my first experience at like a LAN party, right? Um, like that was us hooking TVs up and putting them back to back and fucking just going ham. That was that was a beautiful piece of history. So,
Mm-hmm.
but what did players like? Critics praise the beautiful graphics powered by the modern technology or the Unreal 5 engine, the faithful recreation of the Halo classic gameplay, the updated controls that feel true to the original, and many reviewers say that it's the best original campaign has ever looked. And like you said, Stearns, it looks good. It looks good. I personally speaking, I think I do like some aspects of it. I do not like some aspects of it. I feel like a lot of the surfaces are a little bit too reflective, and it's almost distracting at some points. But I mean, other than that, I mean, yeah, it looks great. Unreal
It,
Engine 5 is a good engine. So,
it does look good, and I agree with you. Well, let's touch on, and you started to touch on some of the things that you didn't like. Let's see what other players didn't like. Some criticism has focused on several classic cutscenes being rewritten or redirected, with fans saying they lose some of the charm of the original.
mm,
No multiplayer component, despite many hoping for one. Some pacing changes that longtime fans weren't necessary, or that felt weren't necessary.
hmm
Yeah, and we kind of knew this from when they released what it was going to contain. That
yeah.
they had already messed with some, they had retconned some stuff, and they had done some other stuff. So
Well, like another thing, and I saw this review from SkillUp. I recommend everyone to go check it out. It is a fantastic review. It's like a 30-minute video that he did on this, where he kind of compared the originals to the remakes, and a lot of it is kind of nitpicky. But I mean, from a reviewer, like when Halo is the like the epitome of gaming, right? When the that a lot of people, especially Xbox's baby, Halo is just on so many levels above so many games. It deserves to kind of be nitpicked because it Halo is to gaming culture what McDonald's is to fast food, right?
well, I think it
Uh,
would be the same thing, like if they released, God of War 1,
mhm,
and
absolutely.
they re-enhanced it, and
Oh,
then they ended up changing
the
everything.
trilogy will absolutely be nitpicked, 1000%.
Oh yeah,
And as it should. And I feel like this is the same thing. This is the Halo, or this is the Xbox star. This is what makes Xbox. And so
yeah,
to put that kind of faith into a game, especially a game that in these past 5 years, there hasn't been a good Halo game. Halo fans have hated Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite. Um, and they just want to go back to the kick ass Master Chief, right? And but I would recommend everyone you could go check out that Skill Up review. It's a fantastic review. But one of the things that he brought up was that Sergeant Major Avery a lot of the times was just kind of talking to himself,
yeah,
they were doing like this weird like cinematic thing where they were following the script, but he would like turn to the camera, like as the soldiers are gone and there's nobody in the room, and he's like, "Yes, for those of you that could kill the revenant, it's gonna be your first time." Blah blah blah, and it's like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like,
yeah.
right,
It's all go. Everybody's left.
everyone's gone. Your back is turned towards them. You're just talking. Like it was very like movie like a movie thing, right? Like a movie scene kind of. And it just didn't play out right. And they kept doing that. Like it wasn't just a one-off take. They did it like 4 or 5 times in the game. It was constant. Every time you saw Major Avery, he just turned away from his soldiers to look at the camera and say something. I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? It was off putting, and that might be a little nitpicky or whatever, but it was like
I think it deserves to be nitpicked at though.
I do too, but we got to get to the biggest complaints of the game. Halo Studio added 3 brand new campaign missions that weren't part of the 2001 original. Ironically, many critics say these missions are the weakest part of the entire game. Reviewers describe them as less memorable and not well integrated into the original story, which I agree. Like um, it was almost like they were trying, like, because Sergeant Major Avery's with you and Master Chief, right? They're kind of like
Yeah,
alongside each other, and it was almost like this buddy cop like back and forth with them, right? And it wasn't given a Master Chief. It wasn't given a sergeant talking to the Master Chief, right? It was just like partner cops doing a crime scene together or figuring out a crime together. It's very weird, and it was not the same as in the beginning of like it wasn't the same as the story, right? The only completely original content created by Halo Studios has become one of the game's most criticized features, and that has me worried for Halo. I'm gonna be honest with you. How is the one thing that you completely built from the ground up? This was the only original content that you added to the remake, and it's the worst part of the game. That
I
tells,
think it's easy to do.
but that tells me that as a studio, you've lost your connection to the product.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
know,
100%. But then again, I think it's easier to mess up. So okay, I think it was a bad decision first of all to add anything to the story.
I think you no, I think you should
Especially
have. These Halo fans are asking for original content. They want a new
that's
Master
fine.
Chief
Then make a
story.
new Halo. Don't fucking add shit to something that's critically acclaimed and amazing. No,
That
they shouldn't have added anything new to this. They should have brushed it up, put some new makeup on it, and sent it out in the world. It would have been fine. It would
but
have
then
done just as well.
but then you would have
And the
just
only
had a
down
Halo Legacy.
that's fine.
No,
Then,
it's not.
and you didn't make then you made another remake.
You might as well
on
just
The
go
Last
get
of
the
Us.
Master Chief collection.
But you're not making it worse.
You're
This
right.
is actively making it worse.
But this tells me that the next game is going to be worse. Look at Halo 4. Look at Halo 5.
That's not necessarily true. They were
This is
trying
the
to
same
throw something
studio.
into a story that's already.
This-
I understand, but they were putting shit into an already established story.
You
a
can
well-established portion of the story.
you can add things to a story. You can add bonus content and have it be a good thing. It's not people aren't
Yeah, but
mad.
they didn't do that.
But people aren't mad that they added things to the game. They are mad that the things that they added to the game are dog shit.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, Sternsy. It's not the fact that they added something. They don't care that they added something. What they cared about was the missions that they added do nothing. They don't add anything. They weren't cool missions. They were just boring, run of the mill bullshit. If you were gonna add something, then you should have added something that meant something to the fans. You didn't. You don't care about that. You wanted to add something, which is your issue. You've lost connection.
that's what I'm saying.
You lost connection to your product. Look at Halo 4, look at Halo 5, look at Halo Infinite. These are all considered some of the worst Halo games. And these were all done by 343 Studios, which is now Halo Studios. I think Halo Studios sucks at Halo games. I think Halo Studios needs to be kicked off of this, and Xbox needs to give another developer access to Halo games. It should not be hard to make a first-person shooter sci-fi game. This is like the basic run-of-the-mill
groundwork.
Yeah, this is basic run-of-the-mill shit. And not only that, but Halo 4, 5, and Infinite have completely changed the story for Halo, right? They even said that the books are not canon. How are the books not canon? How is a game that you're making that's the bullshit. You're not following the groundwork. You're just making something else up. You're just making shit up on your own, and you're like, well, it's going to be this way because we say it's going to be better. When the fans have already know what they want, and the fans have already fallen in love with the story of Halo.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying they shouldn't have added anything.
I think they should have added something. But if you're going to add something, make it fucking good.
Yeah, but this is my point. You're actively making something that would have been better without. It would have been better without. Am I wrong?
Yes, but I would say that if they didn't add these bonus missions, then what's the difference between this and the Master Chief Collection, which you can get for $20?
The upgraded graphics.
Yeah, then we would be bitching about that because that would be the same thing as what Sony is doing with The Last of Us.
You're right.
It's stupid. Well, don't even make it. Well, you just spent $400 million on something.
My point.
But no, like that's what I'm saying. Don't even make the game. Don't make the game at all. You spent $400 million
make a new one.
As you should. But I think that they need to get Halo Studios the fuck out of there because they're ruining Halo.
I agree.
I think what they need to do,
release a game and you're going to put something in it, fucking do a new game. Why did they have to redo the other one? Or why did they have to redo Combat Evolved?
I think they had to do it to see if there's still love for the game. Right?
And there's plenty of love for Halo, just nothing new.
Well, and my other thing is this game doesn't even come with multiplayer, which is a huge fucking... Well, it does come with multiplayer. It comes with split screen. But the big issue with that is both players need to have an Xbox Live account, which I think is dumb in itself.
That's even stupider.
But it doesn't come with PvP, which I think is dumb. You know, you got this game that has literally been the poster child for PvP, especially for Xbox, for years. And you don't even have it in your game? Crazy.
Yeah, that alone right there would stop that aspect alone would stop me from buying the game.
Everyone that I've talked to has not recommended this game. Everyone I've talked to, every review I've watched, everyone I've watched play the game, they've all said just go and buy the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
you can get it for $20.
Yep.
You can get it for $20 fucking dollars, and it's the same thing but better.
Yeah, I've heard that multiple times.
That's everyone that I have watched play this game. They're like, yeah, this is a cool game if you've never ever played Halo before. But at the same time, you can just get the Master Chief Collection for $20, and it's a better experience all around. Yeah, the graphics might not be as polished, but the gameplay is so much more punchy that you don't even care about the graphics.
Yeah.
And that tells you something about the studio behind your game.
So what does this mean for Halo? Overall reception has been positive. The remake proves there's still a huge demand for Halo, like we've said. However, criticism of the new missions suggests fans still prefer Halo Studios to preserve what made the original special rather than reinvent them. As Halo Studios works towards the franchise's future, fans appear to want new ideas, just not at the expense of Halo's identity.
1000%, bro. And that's all we've been saying is keep Halo. You know, there was this thing that I was watching a video on, and they said that the Forerunners were originally supposed to be the humans, right? The ancient civilization that they're trying to find and shit was actually supposed to be ancient human civilization, pretty much, essentially. And that was supposed to be the big, oh shit, the Covenant's supposed to be oh fuck, we've been fighting the Forerunners this whole time, right? And that would have been so cool as a story, right?
It would have been.
But they fucked it up. And they made the Forerunners another identity that looks, that is just another evil fucking being. And, yeah, that kind of upset me, because I was like, damn, that would have been such a cool fucking story. And it's just one of those things where it's it's not the same. Halo's not the same. And that sucks, because Halo was such a cool experience as a gamer.
It really was. Lots of nostalgia is attached to it.
Yeah, well, and that's the problem, right? Is they have taken that nostalgia and they've crumpled it up and said, you know what, fuck your nostalgia. You know, your nostalgia is only important to us when we can sell you on it. But if we want to create something, then your nostalgia can eat my ass. But if you've played Halo Combat Evolved and you know, you've got some thoughts, opinions, or concerns, then please drop them down in the comments. Me and Sternsey would love to hear from it.
Wanna hear you go.